Welcome you all students for the online class of social. Today we are going to learn about chapter 8 popular beliefs and religious debates, which is the second part of the lesson. In the first part we learned about the Bhakti movement and the religious reformers of Bhakti movement. In this part we are going to learn about the Sufi movement and the Bhakti and Sufi saints and the teaching of the religious reformers. These are the things we are going to learn in this lesson, and the second part is going to be with Sufi movement. The Sufi movement is origin from the Middle East part of the world, and it is basically based on Muslim Islam, and from that they got diverted and Sufism got evolved. And in India it started in 30th century. Sufism, the persons, the saints of Sufism will wear a long gown which is called as coarse dress. So you can see the picture. From the picture you can easily understand. And the Sufis are also known as the Purs. The Sufism persons rejected the Islam formats and they focused on the spreading of love and tolerance and equality. And they expressed their devotion through dance, music, and poetry. And also they developed a new music called Qawwal, which means a good song for God, and the singers are called as Qawwals. And it is organized into different shilas. Shilas means the partitions of the god. Partitions of the worship is called as shilals. And the saints who got into the Sufi movement or get trained under a discipline called murjids. That is the discipline method followed by the Sufis. And they use different methods such as Z, Shama, and Rakus, which means that the Zama means to listen the music, and Rakus means the dance and the narration of the Sufi movement. And the majority of the saints belong to India. They called as Chitsit, which means the Chitsit is a partition of the persons who belong to India. The Chistit persons who belonged to India was the prominent persons, and they also developed the Sufism in India. And later on what happened, many new saints started to evolve in the Sufi movement, such as Baba Furdits, Nizamuddin, Salim, and like many people started to write poems also. So like this only the Sufi movement got developed. And there are many similarities in Bhakti and Sufi movements. Let's see that the oneness of God, which means the God is one, they believed in this one. And the equality of human beings, all are equal in front of the caste, and human beings are equal in front of God. And next thing, they believed the simple living. Both Bhakti and Sufi saints believed in simple living. And the fourth one they believed on is the simple language. The person who wants to pray to God can speak, can pray in the local language. The priest can speak, the priest can pray and do the rituals in any languages, but a common man, a devotee can speak in a local language. So simple language is okay for God. And divinication of ritual, which means the opposition. They oppose the expensive rituals. These are the five things followed by Bhakti saints and Sufi saints. And the next is Kabir. Kabir is one of the greatest reformer who lived in 15th century in Banaras. Now it is called as Varanasi. He read both the Bhakti and the Sufi and the Muslim, all the religious book, and he got a clear idea about Muslim and Hinduism. And he believed in both the things, and he grew through with all the Bhakti and Sufi saints, and he grew up good things in the culture of medieval period. And also he followed the disciplines of Ramananda and the follower of Ramanuja. Ramananda is the follower of Ramanuja. So Kabir followed both Ramanuja and Ramananda. And Kabir belonged to the Weavers family. From the picture you can easily understand that. and he also believed in the oneness of God, and he gave different names to God like Rama, Hari, Allah, Saint, Shabi, like that. He gave many different names to God, and he also rejected the caste system, and he rejected the formal worship, which means there is no proper way to worship God. Where you are, you can worship the God. How you are, you can worship the God. Like that, he created a new ethics to pray, and also he preached new messages, which is gave the social reform to the medieval people. And he didn't believe that God is necessary, but the all duties must be done in day to day life. He believed in that. And he, even though he didn't get formal education, he didn't have a proper regular education, but he composed many bhajans in Hindi, and what is like verses, different verses in Hindi. So, which later get into the book of Sikhism. Kabir preached about the equality, that is, the similarities between Hinduism and Islam to the people, and he made a clear idea about the Bhakti and Sufi movement during the medieval period. As I said earlier, the verses of Kabir get into the books of Sikhism. Guru Ghat Shabib, the verses of Kabir get into that book, and some of the Hindu and Muslim Orthodox saints, they rejected Kabir's thoughts because Kabir's teaching is somewhat socialistic and it's equality. But some Orthodox saints are opposed the Kabir's thought. Even though they opposed, Kabir was the greatest person during the medieval period. Next is about Guru Nanak. He is the person founder of the Sikhism who born in Punjab in 1469 CE. In the small age itself, he started to involve himself in spirituality, and later on, he became a saint. And he followed all the saints from the small age, so he attained a good manner in a small age itself. And he started to travel from place to place to spread his message. So he started a new religion called Sikhism. By his teaching, it got originated. And also, he spoke about the common things such as against the caste system and against the religion. He promoted the brotherhood, that is the common thing. All are equal, all the things are equal, including food. Even now, you can see in the Amritsar's Golden Temple, all the people can go and have their breakfast, dinner, lunch, whenever they want. They can go and they can have the common kitchen lunch. So you can see the picture of Guru Nanak. He also believed that only one God is there, which means the eternal, only one God is there. So he too said the same things which is followed by the Bhakti movement. And also he gave new disciplines like true names, okay? And he gave importance to the character and conduct of a person. The person must be very pure in his contact and his character. And also he guided many new saints. He had nearly 10 saints, it seems. And the principles of Guru Nanak are followings Nama Japo, which means we should give away the evils such as anger, greed, pride, those things. And correct Karo, which means we have to work hard and to honest yearning. And next is Van Chako, which means the sharing and helping others. So he is Guru Nanak. Can see the picture of him. And later on, what happened? He passed away in the year of 1539, and he named his successor as Guru Granth. Okay, he was the successor and the follower of Guru Nanak, and he had 10 gurus. Okay, I have mentioned the name of them. You can see the names and the things which made by him is still followed now in India, in the part of Punjab, and followed by the Sikh peoples. They are following all the things given by him. Such a wonderful priest is Guru Nanak. So here I end the lesson. So in this lesson we learnt about the Sufi movement of medieval India and the Bhakti and Sufi saints and the religious teachers of medieval India. I hope you all understand the lesson. Thank you, students. We'll meet in the next class.